Welcome to Real Estate Pro Tips and Strategies. The theme is how to buy a home or sell a home in a changing real estate market. Hi, my name is Pete Sabine, and I'm here with my team partner, Leslie Whitney. We are real estate professionals with Compass and the 5-star real estate team here in the San Francisco Bay Area. We want to share with you our real estate expertise to give you a competitive edge and provide insight with useful information so you can make an informed decision for your next home purchase. Leslie and I break down the most important aspects of real estate. Future podcasts will reveal how to navigate as a home buyer or seller.
Before we start our podcast, if you're looking at scaling a real estate buy and hold portfolio or simply looking for tips and techniques when it comes to property management or self-management, check out the Landlording for Life podcast with Sean Morrissey and subscribe to get an episode every Monday morning. Visit landlordingforlife.com for all episodes. Hello, welcome to this episode of Real Estate Pro Tips and Strategies. This is Leslie Whitney and I'm with Pete Sabine. Today's topic is California Proposition 19 tax modifications. Prop 19 is known as the Property Tax Transfers, Exemptions, and Revenue for Wildfire Agencies and Counties Amendment. Prop 19 passed with just 51% of voter approval. If you are 55 years or older and are considering taking the big step of moving into a new home in California, whether to downsize or maybe to explore a new community, there are two main points to the law and two major deadlines. The new law also applies to those with disabilities and those who lost their homes in a wildfire, regardless of their age. The new rules for transferring a favorable property tax assessment on a home purchases begin April 1, 2021, and the replacement home must be purchased within 2 years of the sale date. The new rules for property tax transfers of inherited property between family members will begin February 16th, 2021. Pete, tell us how Prop 19 allows for the easier movement of a primary residence taxable value.
Well, the main provision of Prop 19 allows the owner of a primary residence who is 55 years of age or older, or severely disabled, or who lost their home to a wildfire disaster to transfer the taxable value, meaning its property tax assessed value, of that residence to a replacement primary residence anywhere in the state of California. Under the old law of Prop 60, you are allowed to transfer your property tax basis if you sell and buy another primary residence within the same county. There's another old law that was tied to Prop 60 called Prop 90, and that only allowed a basis to be moved between two counties if those counties opted into the law. There are a total of 58 counties in the state of California, and only 10 counties participated under Prop 90. Prop 19, on the other hand, allows for that movement anywhere in the state in all 58 counties.
How many times can you move and take advantage of the Prop 19 transfer of property tax basis?
Well, the new law under Prop 19 allows a primary residence's property tax value to be transferred 3 times as opposed to only once under the old laws of Prop 60 and Prop 90. So for those that qualify, it's now easier to move and keep that lower property tax benefit of their original home.
As an example, if you sell your home with a property tax assessed value of $100,000 and buy a new primary residence in California, how will you be able to keep the benefit of that property tax valuation for your new home?
The replacement property that's acquired must adhere to the equal or less than current value rule. This limits the current value of the replacement home to be equal or less than the current value of the former residence, even if you are buying only a partial interest in your new primary residence. The basis of your original home gets transferred exactly to your new home.
What happens if you transfer your basis to a replacement property that is of greater value?
The property tax basis for your new home is calculated as follows. the taxable basis or the taxable value, which we call the basis, of your original primary residence is increased by the difference between the cash value or the sales price of your original residence and the cash value or the purchase price of your replacement residence. And that new number becomes your replacement home's basis. So as an example, if your current original residence has a property tax valuation of $100,000, but its current market value when you sell it is $500,000, and you buy a replacement primary residence for $1 million, then the tax value, which is the basis for the new home, will be $600,000. So it's going to be the $100,000 of your original residence property tax value plus the difference in the value of the old property, which was $500 when you sold it, and you bought a new one for $1 million. So that's $500 plus $100, that's $600,000. So even though there's a step up in basis that recognizes the increased value of your new home, it is kept down by using the property tax basis of the former residence as a starting point. So if you didn't have that lower starting point, your new property tax basis would be based on the full purchase price of $1 million instead of that adjusted discounted price of $600,000. Does that make
Yes.
make it sound simpler?
That does.
Good.
Using that $100,000 example.
Yeah. So you can buy a house anywhere in California at any price. If you happen to buy your next home and it's lower than the last one that you sold, great. You get to keep 100% of that value. Your property tax value is not going to go up. But if you need or want to buy a more expensive property than the one you sold, your property taxes will be higher than the old property, but not as much as it could be if you didn't have this.
Right. Prop 19 covers the transfer of a family home between parents and their children or grandchildren, including through inheritance. The tax value can only be transferred if the property continues as the primary residence of the transferee. That's right.
And one of the changes from the previous transfer property tax basis law. So the new rules for transfers of inherited property will begin on February 16th, 2021. If you inherit your parents' property, you can only keep their property tax basis if you continue to use that property as your primary residence. If you want to use that property as an income property investment, you will not get the benefit of the former owner's lower property tax basis.
How will this new law affect property tax revenues in California?
Well, it's kind of a balance. The reduction in property tax revenue resulting from the easing of tax basis transfers for older homeowners has been offset by an increase in tax income from inherited investment properties. So the balance is that some will save money because of Prop 19, homeowners over 55 who move within California, while others will pay more tax, children who inherited property for use as an investment. And Prop 19 is expected to add about $2 billion to the state funds through property taxes.
What about Proposition 13, also known as the People's Initiative to Limit Property Taxation? Could this be the start of a movement to overturn Prop 13 in the future?
Proposition 13 protects buyers from extraordinary increases in property tax by setting a base year value on property. The base year property tax value of a property is set for its assessed value in the year of 1975. Were you even born then?
Yes.
You were.
I was.
Okay, good.
I was.
All right. If the property was acquired after 1975, then the base year value is set by the market value of the property at the time of transfer or change of ownership. So Proposition 13 allows only the maximum increase of value by 2% a year. And additionally, property taxes cannot exceed 1% of a property's full market value. So the intent of Prop 13 is to prevent a shocking increase in property taxes and serve as an incentive for people 55 and older to feel comfortable and their experience of re-entering the real estate market. Proposition 19 is an amendment and chips away at one of the most popular propositions in California history, which is Prop 13, in limiting tax-based transfers. One purpose of Prop 19 is to eliminate unfair tax loopholes used by investors, celebrities, wealthy non-California residents, and trust fund heirs to avoid paying a fair share of property taxes on vacation homes, income properties, and beachfront rentals they own in California.
Let's discuss the potential immediate impact of Prop 19. Could this lead to an increase in inventory of homes for sale?
Well, I believe Prop 19 will help with the housing shortage here in California. There are thousands of longtime homeowners who have not moved because of their low property taxes and the financial burden of paying substantially higher property taxes when buying another home. So I expect to see many of these homeowners taking advantage of this incentive to relocate without suffering from excessively high property taxes.
Will the cost of housing in California become even less affordable than it is now?
Well, if the impact of Prop 19 significantly increases the supply of available homes for sale, then the supply and demand dynamic could be more balanced, and that will relieve some pressure of rapidly increasing home values.
How might Prop 19 impact new and first-time home buyers?
Well, more housing inventory means more options for home buyers, and I see this as a positive for the California real estate market.
And do you think, is this the end of an era of using inherited homes as rental properties?
I don't think so. Just because the property tax assessment on inherited property will increase to the current market value, the demand for rental housing in California is extremely high. Many inherited properties are debt-free and the mortgage has been paid off. With strong market rents and high rental demand, these properties can make an excellent wealth-building investment with positive cash flow and the potential for value appreciation.
Should you transfer inherited real property now or before February 15th, 2021 to avoid the reassessment?
Well, that depends on your goals. If you are thinking about doing a property tax transfer through Prop 19, there's additional information on the FAQ page of the California Board of Equalization's website, and you should always consult with your income tax professional to understand your specific tax issues and how the process works regarding gift planning and lifetime exemptions. And so coincidentally, I just got a call today from a client who inherited property last year. Mom passed away. The family inherited her home, and they don't plan on any family member moving into it as their primary residence, and they don't want to pay an increase in the property tax. The property's been in the family for I think three generations, and so it's time to sell, and that's their plan, and it was triggered by Prop 19. So here's an example of creating more inventory. This property is going to come on the market in a couple of weeks and add to the inventory, and that's going to help balance things out when there's more houses for sale.
Right. What are some potential negative drawbacks that could result from Prop 19?
Well, it's somewhat hard to predict, but I think California could experience a significant population shift. And if so, some parts of California could experience an exodus of homeowners from high-cost areas like the San Francisco Bay Area, moving to lower-cost areas. That's typically what older folks do as they retire. A lot of folks are on fixed incomes, and they want to move to a lower-cost area. And as such, they're leaving the area, but they're going to be replaced with somebody that's going to buy that home as well. The population shift could change the socioeconomic climate and demographics of various regions in California as a result of that. And the effects of this change will probably take several years with many unknown and unexpected consequences in the social fabric of the state.
Yeah, I can see that. Hiring an experienced realtor to represent you will help you navigate through these new changes in California property tax transfer laws. I am Leslie Whitney with Pete Sabine, and we are the 5-Star Real Estate Team. Discover more real estate pro tips. find our podcast at 5starrealestateteam.podbean.com.
Thank you for joining us for this podcast.
We hope you enjoy our real estate pro tips and strategies, and we encourage you to share our podcast with anyone who's looking to buy or sell a home. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already, and if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to ring the bell next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss a single episode. Thank you to our producer, Sam Lubman, and Painless Podcast for making this podcast happen. Discover more real estate pro tips. Find our podcast at 5starrealestateteam.podbean.com and check out our new website, our5starteam.com.